It's a gorgeous piece of music, and it's like an accompaniment. Do you know what I mean? He's left the tune out, he's left all sorts of things out. He sort of somehow shows you that the very basic elements of music are very interesting elements. That somehow you don't need the song, you actually don't need the tune to create this absolutely gorgeous, compelling piece of music. Just the movement of the harmony, the general sound of the instrument is enough.
How would you shape something like that in performance?
Well, I have a lot of options in this piece. I can do all sorts of, like, I just played it then at a certain speed, but I don't have to play it at that speed. I could play it almost half that speed and probably still get away with it if I varied my touch in a certain way, or I could play it a lot faster and still get away with it. I have those options. I have articulation options, particularly in the right hand. The left hand, he pretty much tells you what you have to do. The right hand, you have a lot of flexibility, a lot of variations are possible. So any performance that one gives, and not just me, but probably any piano player, gives of that prelude is always just going to be one option out of, unfortunately, an almost frightening number of options.
Very briefly, what can we describe what the Well-Tempered Clavier is? I mean, not the instrument I'm talking about. I'm talking about the work. What is it? We've got a number of pieces in this.
Yeah, the work is 2 books. Each book has 24 preludes and fugues. Each prelude and fugue is in a different key.
So that's 2 pieces, a prelude and a fugue.
A prelude and a fugue. There are 96 pieces.
Right.
So there are 48 preludes and fugues, 96 pieces if you want to separate the preludes and fugues, but actually we very seldom separate the preludes and fugues. You don't. There have been concerts with just the fugues. I know even in Auckland you've heard just the fugues, but in general the preludes and fugues are played together. So they're generally seen as 24 preludes and fugues in book 1, book 2. They're in all the keys. There are 12 tones in the scale, C, C sharp, D sharp, etc., etc. There's one prelude and fugue in each of those keys in the major, and there's one prelude and fugue in each of those keys in the minor key. And that's what you've got. So Bach shows you how to play in every single key. They are essentially educational pieces. They are written, I think, almost, not always perhaps, not all of them, but most of them are written with a teaching purpose. But that doesn't stop them from being, absolutely gorgeous music.
Have you been playing these pieces all your life, all your playing life?
Only a small number.
Really?
Yes, only a small number, because I'm probably absolutely typical in that as a student I had to learn a prelude and fugue for my exams. I'm not quite sure what level that starts, whether that's grade 8 or even the letters or something like that. So they were the first preludes and fugues. And I only learnt the ones I had to learn for exams. I didn't go sideways out of that and try and learn some others. And I don't think anybody sort of did. They were prescribed. So they were like medicine. They were like something you had to do, and a lot of people resented it because not everybody likes to play a fugue. It's understandable. So it wasn't until much later when I started just to pick them out and program them in concerts.
And now you're performing them all?
Now I'm performing them all, but
Why?
I've learned a lot of them from scratch for these concerts.
Right. But why? What's your? Why are you doing it?
Well, I think I just fell more and more in love with them. The ones I liked, I just really just loved and loved and loved, and then I did the Goldberg variations, and I just became besotted with Bach. And I don't know. Once I finished with the Preludes and Fugues, I'm planning to work my way through all the suites and partitas, just do everything I can. Yeah, it's tremendous study, apart from anything else, but it's marvellous music, and the more you do it, the better it gets, like all the great stuff.
What about emotion? And a lot of people don't think of Bach in this sort of repertoire as they think that he's not particularly emotional. What's your feeling? Do you feel stuff when you're playing?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. How can you not? How can you not think that that's full of sadness, even on a harpsichord, some crappy tin pot, junky instrument that's going to sound full of feeling. Well, I mean, if the pianist's got like any sensitivity at all. But what's been interesting was studying the lot and being determined to figure out exactly what all the differences are. Because if you're going to play 96 pieces essentially in a row, it's no good if like 24 of them sound the same. You have to find out where all the differences are and what makes those differences. And in the fugues, that's harder than in the preludes. So I've had to really look very deeply into the fugues, and part of that deep looking has been trying to find what is, in fact, the emotional core of each of these fugues. I don't believe that the subjects are just picked out because somehow they make good fugues. I think there is more to a subject. Bach's a human being. I mean, heavens, what a life he had.
He is trying to convey a message.
I think so.
For you to find.
I think so. I think there is something in there. Otherwise, I'm not sure we would bother with this music. I actually think it has to have a really serious human appeal, or it would never get out of these teaching rooms. And it does. People do play these, and audiences do respond.